There'll be time to eat, there'll be time to mingle. All your needs will be met, so please turn your cell phone off. Turn it off. Turn your cell phone off. Turn it off. Turn your cell phone off. Turn it off. Turn your cell phone off.
All right, everybody on your feet. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Good morning, Center for Spiritual Living Palm Desert. How is everybody here today? Woo! Right on, right on. You look beautiful. You look marvelous. Remember that? For those of you that were born after 1970. Welcome to you, to those of you who are coming in live stream and those of you that are on Facebook. We are so grateful you are joining us this morning. Well, today Dr. Joe is in New York seeing every single Tony-nominated play there is so that he can have fun and report back to us. So we're glad he's having some nice fun time, and he will be back next Sunday. Before we get started with announcements, let's say our vision and our mission statement, which is behind me, and just join me as we say, we are a positive faith community that accepts all religions. Our vision is spiritual awakening and personal growth in a world that works for everyone. Our mission is to help individuals discover the spiritual tools and inner power that has the ability to transform lives and make the world a better place. And so it is. That's big stuff. That's big stuff we're charged with. But we do it with joy. Okay, I'm going to tell you what's not happening this week. Reverend Laura's Tuesday class, not happening, so don't show up. Paul's midweek heart opening service, not happening this week. My sacred circle on Thursday, not happening. The reason why, you might be asking yourself, what is that? Reverend Laura, myself, and Paul will be going to Denver to learn some neat things to bring back to the center to raise it up another notch here. So I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but just know the three of us together, mischief will be happening, but so will a lot of new wisdom be coming to us. So. And I will be starting a class on June 14th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Metaphysical Bible. We're going to be looking at the Bible in a whole new light, in a way that you are going to get it, where it's going to resonate for you, and you're going to just love reading it. We're going to look at it rather than literally or how you used to look at it. We're going to look at it through science of mind principles and see how those unfold in the different Bible Bible stories. So it's going to be a great time. I love teaching, and there's always a whole lot of evolution of soul going on. So join me if you want. It's an accredited class. It's an elective class. So if you're on the practitioner track, I think it's a couple $100. If you're on the practitioner track, this will count as an elective, so it will work for your studies. And that's it. There's a sign-up sheet on the patio. On Sunday, June 18th, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, the Rainbow Alliance is going to have a trip to the Integratron, which is a very cool place if you haven't been there. It is a sound bath experience where you just lay down on a beautiful mat and they play crystal bowls for about 45 minutes to an hour, and it is an amazing experience. I can't even really describe it. You just kind of go to this zone within yourself where all is well, and it's just wonderful. And they're going to provide lunch, and I'm telling you, that cost is really good for what you're getting. And you get to be with people from the center, so it's a lovely time. Sign-ups are on the patio as well. And so Francine Ward is going to be having 2 more classes for those of you who want to publish a book. The first class in June will be about how to get out on social media. She's going to teach you all the ins and outs. And her July class will be about protecting your work and copyright. So if you're interested, there is a sign-up on the patio, but if you want to sign up, you actually have to go into the office. And I know there is a special rate. If you want to take both classes, there's a reduced rate, but I don't know what that is, so you're going to have to do your own research on that. And lastly, if you're kind of on the fence about the Spirit Tours adventure that we're going to be having in November, it's getting kind of to the time where you have to sign up. I believe we have 3 or 4 spaces left. So it's time to make that decision and jump in. You won't regret it. Our trips are amazing. I haven't been on one yet, but everybody looks so different when they come back. They're just in that zone of spiritual enlightenment. So if you're seeking that kind of experience, then sign up for it. And that's all. So I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Laura. She's going to introduce our very special guest artist today.
Well, I have to tell you, good morning, by the way. It's nice to see all of you. I was so surprised to see so many people here today. I mean, there's nobody on the roads. So you guys must be the only ones in the valley, and you're all here. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So today we are so blessed. It's funny because we have Daniel Namod is here today, and I know. And he called me, or he emailed me a couple months ago, and he said, "Are you talking on June 4th? Because I'm singing." And I go, "No." And I didn't know I was. So I want to thank Jerry Lynn. Must have known before I knew that I was speaking, and she signed him up because he's absolutely one of my favorites. So let's give, I always tease him, I say, if your mother wants to give you up for adoption, I will adopt you, because I just love him. So anyway, I know, look at him blush. So anyway, Daniel Namod.
So just to keep my mom in good grace. I sing in a synagogue every so often just to keep my mom a big fan.
Oh, good.
Don't tell her I'm at a church today, and we'll be fine.
All right. Where's your baby? Yeah. It's not a church; it's a center.
Absolutely. I was not raised to sing in centers or churches. I was raised to go to Shul Synagogue every Saturday morning and be a good boy and pay my taxes, which I do, and stop at red lights, which I mostly do, and drive the speed limit, which I almost never do. And I was definitely not raised to write songs for a living. My parents are both attorneys, and my dad's been a law professor for 40 years, and I swear to God they would still send me to law school if I said yes. So that I could have an actual job with actual benefits and an actual office and an actual place in society. So there you go. And all that is actually a relevant introduction to this song. All my songs are autobiographical, and if you were to torture yourself with listening to 18 years of them, spanning forward, you would hear and learn more about me than you'd want to know. And this song is entirely autobiographical about a guy who is flying by the seat of his pants and would rather have it that way than the other.
Yay.
So, as I told the first service, and I sincerely mean it, I won't say guys, you men and women, ladies and gentlemen of this center, are extremely, legitimately fortunate every Sunday to have professional, gracious, skilled, prepared, invested musicians and an entire music team every Sunday. So I could send you to about 150 different centers if you wanted to know how good you've got it, but I'm not going to go into that right now. I'm just telling you, don't take it for granted. It's pretty special. So I want to thank them in advance for not making any mistakes this or any other song we do this morning. Right, guys? All right, okay. All right, here we go. A song from an album called Time for Fire. Here we go. There's the kind of life when every choice you make's the safe one, predictable, when every moment's like the last one, everything even slightly barely scary is locked away. It's the kind of life where your engine's never gunning, sitting tight, no, your heart is hardly running, nobody better be messing with the schedule for your usual day. Then there's the kind of life where your pot of gold may never come, where your dream's so big it's never done, where your work feels less like work than fun. Tell you what I want, that one, that one. I want that one, that one. Yeah, give me the kind of life where wrong is sometimes right and black is sometimes white as well. I want that one, that one. Oh yeah, that one, that one. I will fail and I'll succeed. I'll laugh and I will bleed. Every day's a mystery and time will always tell. Look at me, going a million different directions, messy me, I call it perfect imperfection. Don't bother asking me where I'm headed, cause I really don't know. No, crazy me today. I may become a rock star, then again it would be so sweet to drive a NASCAR. Tomorrow I might decide to wrestle crocodiles for Nat Geo. You don't need to say that my pot of gold may never come. I know. My dream's so big it's never done. But if a life can be never-ending fun, tell you what I want. That one, that one. I want that one, that one. Yeah, give me the kind of life where wrong is sometimes right and black is sometimes white as well. I want that one, that one. Oh yeah, that one, that one. I will fail and I'll succeed. I'll laugh and I will bleed. Every day's a mystery. Yeah, that's the life for me. Keep your to-do list to yourself. I'm doing what comes next. I don't want to live like no one else. Gotta be true to me. Always be true to me. Yeah, that one, that one. I want that one, that one. Oh, give me the kind of life where I'm kind of flying blind and black and sometimes white as well. I want that one, not some boring, ordinary, flat one. I will fail and I'll succeed. I'll laugh and I will bleed. Every day's a mystery. Yeah, that's the life for me. Oh, that's the life for me. That one.
Woo! That just gets you going, right? I want that one. Yes, I want that one. And I was sitting there listening to it, and I thought, I got that one. I do have that one. I have all of you here, and I'm excited, even though the topic's kind of heavy. So I want you to think of what that one is that you want and feel it and go into this silence, go into that space. Let's just take a deep breath together. Just let it go.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning, here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. I sing, get ready. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. I'm diving in. Get ready. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. I'm diving into the deepest kind of love, to the deepest kind of love, the sweetest kind of life, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Good morning, Palm Desert Spiritual Living Center. There is one power, one energy in this universe. It is the source of all life. It is the beginning. And I recognize my connection to this energy, this source of life that I call God. Everything that God is, I am. And so I live my life in the image and likeness of God. And so this day, this moment, I claim and state the truth of who I am. I am courageous. I do the right thing because I know that my life is in alignment with God. God is love. I am love. And I radiate that feeling, that emotion, that energy out into the world that I see. I create my reality. And it is that alignment that gives me the courage. I don't worry about leaders of the world. The only constant there is in this life is God. That is the only true constant. That is my north. That is the compass heading of my life. Everything revolves around that ideal that I cherish. And so I live my truth. My life is in alignment with God. Peace, love, harmony are the essence of what God is. And so they are the truth of who I am. And I stand here today in my truth, knowing that everything unfolds perfectly. Everything is God expressing. Like the waves on a beach, going in and going out. There is a natural flow of energy around me. So I don't worry about which direction the wind blows. For I know that it is God that is creating the wind. And so I am supported in that truth. And I allow my life to unfold, knowing that every idea, every experience that I want to have is being provided by God. And so it is in that knowing that I have such gratitude and thanks in my heart. The life I see before me, this center, the congregation, I see my family. The world is my family and is my home. And so I give great thanks, knowing the truth of who I am. And so I release my word to the law of mind, knowing it is done perfectly and it is done now. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments. I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God. I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments. I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God. I find myself. You find God. You find yourself. And we find God. We find
Let's just gently come back into the room, take a deep breath in.
I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my peace over the mountains.
sea. I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens. It returns to me, and it returns to me, and it returns to me.
I'm through asking where I'm going. I've been asking all my life. I've grown tired of all this wondering when everything seems to turn out right. So when my mind needs something to do, wants to know the future, I whisper this: I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. So here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. Some say it's crazy. Some say naive to close my eyes and take the leap. But I know better, 'cause I believe even in the dark my soul can see. And when my mind plays its usual games, oh, my answer is always the same. Yeah. Here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. But I'm not afraid this time. Here goes nothing. I'm taking a chance. I'm opening up, knowing that I'm in good hands. And here goes everything. It's all on the line. Oh, but I'm not afraid this time. No, I'm not afraid this time. this time, 'cause I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way. I'm okay. I've always been, and I'll always be that way.
Daniel, I'm happy you didn't listen to your parents.
You're not sorry I'm not a lawyer.
No, my son's a lawyer. I tried to talk him out of it. No, thank you because of the lives that you touch and the hearts that you open. You would never have done that as a lawyer. Right? Right. Wow. What a gift. What a gift to the world. So this week, Saturday, I went and lit my candles. I had my music, did my meditation, went through what the theme was, had it all written. Felt pretty good. Then I sent off my notes to William to post, and then I got in my car and I turned on the radio and heard the news about what had happened over in the UK. And I went, oh, great, I got to talk tomorrow. So, but I thought this was really good. This month's theme is about accountability. And according to our little journal, this is a value. This is a value of our teaching, the science of mind. And it says that we account for our activities, disclose them in a transparent manner, and accept responsibility for our actions and the obligations entrusted to us. Being willing to accept responsibility for our choices is an important key to spiritual living. It means being willing to answer for our actions and to live in such a way that our words and deeds are matched to the spiritual truth of our being. So today is going to be about courage, and it's going to be about responsibility. And the talk today is courage to do the right thing, which isn't that appropriate for what's going on. And I like to, Dr. Ken every month, Dr. Ken Gordon is our spiritual leader for all of our centers. And he does a monthly talk, and he kind of describes his vision of what the theme is for that week. So I thought I would share with you today what he said about this week.
Hi, Reverend Dr. Ken Gordon, spiritual leader for Centers for Spiritual Living, bringing you the June installments for the value themes that we're doing for 2017. The first one we're bringing is for June 4th, and it's done by Reverend Trish Hall from CSL Metro in Washington, D.C. Her topic is the courage to do the right thing, and the theme for June is accountability. Now, I'll tell you something, is we all know what's right and wrong. We know the difference, we know how to operate. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we know it for somebody else, but we know it for our own selves. We know when we're doing a mistake or when we're making a mistake, when we're doing something that is inadequate or ineffective. And yet, somehow or other, we seem to still be able to do it at times because A, we're not conscious, and B, we perhaps don't have the courage to actually stand up and do what we say we're going to do. Dr. Holmes gave us several quotes around this particular area, which Trish has quoted here. Dr. Holmes said in The Science of Mind, page 56, "I am a center in the divine mind, a point of God-conscious life, truth, and action. My affairs are divinely guided and guarded into right action and into correct results. Everything I do, say, or think is stimulated by the truth. There is power in this word I speak because it is of the truth and is the truth. There is perfect and continuous right action in my life and my affairs, and all belief in wrong action right now is dispelled and made negative. Right action alone has power, and right action is power, and power is God, the living Spirit Almighty. This Spirit animates everything that I do, say, or think. Ideas come to me daily, and these ideas are divine ideas. They direct me and sustain me without any effort. I am continuously directed. I am compelled to do the right thing at the right time, to say the right word at the right time, and to follow the right course at all times. Our ability to be able to act from an authentic being, from what we know to be right and wrong, from what we know is the direction our life needs to take, is the direction that is required. We live in a universe where everything has value, including ourselves. And when we fault that value, when we create a dysfunction through it, what happens is we actually skew the cosmos. It's very, very important that we act from our own heart, from our own understanding and our own appreciation of what is correct, what is right, and what it is for us to do. The courage to take right action is the first step to enlightenment, and it's the first step to awakening. Please have a joyous Sunday, and I'll talk to you next week. Love you. Bye-bye.
I just love him. Told him I'm going to remain the stenographer, the note taker, until he retires in 2 years. I've been with him for I don't know how long now. And he's wonderful. We are so blessed to have that consciousness leading us. Anyway, he sent out a statement, and I didn't really print these up, but I told Julie I will have her put it on our webpage. And it's a statement on climate change and environmental sustainability. Centers for Spiritual Living believes in the oneness of all life and creation. We envision a world free of homelessness, violence, war, hunger, separation, and disenfranchisement. We see a world which has renewed its emphasis on beauty, nature, and love through creativity, art, and aesthetics. We recognize the evidence of science. Human activity is the main cause of the climate crisis, and human creativity can be used to reverse its effects. The climate is seen in extreme weather, changes to seasonal patterns, rising sea levels, species extinction, the melting of glaciers, and shrinking of the polar ice caps. Climate change will affect not only our generation, but our children, our grandchildren, and all future generations of humanity, as well as all other forms of life. It is a moral issue. The predicted impact of climate change will have a disproportionate impact on the least developed countries and on those living in poverty who are least responsible for the emissions of greenhouse gases. It will displace whole populations, and we lament the potential loss of culture, identity, and belonging. We urge our member communities to do what they can to be wise stewards of the climate and the environment and in all phases of their operations, and to encourage members to do so in the homes and workplaces. We call upon religious, political, and social leaders to address the climate change crisis as an urgent moral issue. We urge local and state governments to support and invest in energy conservation and renewable energy development. We urge national governments, including the United States, to respond to global warming with great urgency and firm leadership by enacting and supporting mandatory measures that reduce greenhouse gas emissions and environmentally responsible practices. We join with other organizations, including the Association for Global New Thought, the Parliament of World Religions, and the Universalist Association, in taking a principled stand on this issue. The time for morally responsible action is now. And so regardless of where you are on this issue, what I was very pleased to see our governor of our state stand forth and say that we exceed the federal standards or the global standards. We are doing more in our state for the environment and to keep those emissions down. We have stricter regulations than most places. And what I loved what Governor Brown said, and our economy is thriving because of it. We're using renewable energies, and we aren't afraid, and we are taking the right action for the world. And I'm proud to be a Californian. I'm proud to be in this state that understands this and does that. But whether it's national, global, it's upon each and every one of us to do the right thing as individuals to help the environment. And so, regardless of that, let's just be conscious of that what we do affects the world. And so today it's about courage. It's about courage to do the right thing despite any negativity. So the first quote I have is, courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. Right? And so there's a balance there. There's a balance of not being afraid when maybe you don't have a popular position at the dining room table, but to have the courage to speak from your heart, from what it is you believe without being afraid of what other people will think. And also the courage to really sit and listen. In my Do You Quantum Think a couple of weeks ago, our assignment for the week was to really listen to people from that not knowing. I don't know about you, but sometimes when people are talking to me and maybe we're in a debate, we have different viewpoints, my head is 2 steps ahead. Am I really listening, or I'm getting ready for what I'm coming back with? Instead of really just being with the person and listening from my heart to see what it is they're saying. And that's not always easy. It can be just as difficult and sometimes even more difficult than speaking our truth. But we have to speak up our truth, and we have to have the courage to do that. So this is our affirmation today. So let's say it together, please. My affairs are divinely guided and guarded in right action into correct results. So there's this divine intelligence within us. And if we're not in that place of fear, when we're not in that place of anger, when we're in that place of compassion and integrity, Spirit guides us, and it cannot guide us wrongly. It is always guiding us in the right direction. The old law about an eye for an eye leaves everybody blind. The time is always right to do the right thing. I thought that was beautiful. Now, I want us to think about this. This has been an old paradigm that we were taught from the Bible, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. And the truth is that is how we as humans have done it. It's like, it's that Darwin thing, what is it, the fittest, the survival of the fittest, and the strongest and the most powerful. And what we're seeing now in the world is, you might say it's a revolution, but it's really an evolution. It's an evolution. And so we can't do life the way we used to. And I think people are wakening up to it. We are wakening up to that. We are all in this together. We are all an integral part of that. And the old way of doing things is not going to work in the new world. When we align with the truth about us, doing the right thing no longer seems to require courage. And that's it. You do things. Look at when they had the bombing a couple of weeks ago in Manchester, there were homeless people sleeping outside the venue. And when the bomb went off, they didn't run away. Everybody was running away to get out of there to save themselves. And those homeless people ran in, and they were pulling shrapnel out of those that had the nails torn in them. They were helping a lady who had lost her leg to stop the bleeding till she could get help. They didn't think about themselves. They had the courage to do the right thing. And I believe that we as human beings have that courage to do the right things at all times. So let's say together, my affairs are divinely guided and guarded in right action into correct results. Jesus is quoted as having said, if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. And it was like Daniel's song was perfect because Daniel knew he had a song to sing. He knew what he needed to do. He turned down the money, the schooling, whatever, to do that. And he doesn't say that, but he was also in the computer industry before he gave it up, and he was doing well. But we each and every one of us has a song within us, has something that we are supposed to do. And thank God Daniel was smarter than his parents. We parents love to tell our children, well, you should do this and you shouldn't do that. But we don't know what the path is. And we all have our own individual path. And no path is exactly the same. No path is the same. And yes, Daniel could have probably made more money as a lawyer, maybe. I don't know. My son's is kind of struggling with that one, but he's not doing it the conventional way either. But I've also discovered lately in my counseling sessions that what I'm really finding and what I'm really being hit with is that we're not loving ourselves individually. We are so busy doing, we have forgotten how to be. We are not letting that little playful Laura come out, or Dale, or whoever, Daniel. We need to play more. We need to nurture our souls and have fun and find the joy in life. That's what we came here for, is to be that joy in the world, to have fun and to laugh and not live in fear. And so you might say, but Reverend Laura, look at all the things that are going on in the world and it's scary. Yes, but you know what? We are now getting instantaneous information. We wouldn't have even known about that stuff until the Pony brought us our newspaper that was 3 or 4 months old, and we would have gone about our lives in bliss and not been concerned about this. But now they get instant attention, and we get instant information. So you have to do the right thing. You may never know what results come from your action, but if you do nothing, there will be no results. And so it's incumbent on each one of us to not allow the fear to take over. Today is about courage. And really, in the whole scheme of life, if we look globally, we live in a world of a population. I said 8.5 billion. I was incorrect at the first service. It's 7.5 billion. But we live in a world of 7.5 billion people. Do not let a handful make you angry, fearful, or wanting to be defensive. Know who you are. Know that you are divine beings and you have the power to change the world. And that's what we've been studying in Quantum Think. It's about recognizing how powerful we are, that each one of us is this magnificent manifestation. And when I heard about what happened, now you might think this is a little odd, but I really felt sad for the perpetrators of this, because my thinking was, how miserable would you have to be in your life to do this? To want to give up your own life to destroy other lives? How disconnected would you have to be from humanity? So that's why it is so important for us not to disconnect from one another, to look at each other and to recognize that when you hurt, I hurt. When you're joyful, I'm joyful. We have to recognize the power of who we are, and we have to have the courage to do the right thing. And sometimes you don't even know that you're really doing anything special. I don't have a lot of time. I want to share with you a quick story about my son, Corey, the attorney. So he was let go from his job 2 months before he was getting married, but they kept him till the Friday before he got married, and he was very grateful for that. And anyway, he decided to create his own practice instead of getting a job. He had gone for interviews and said, I can't do that anymore, and I don't, kind of like Daniel, I don't want them to own my soul as an attorney. So he went on his own, but in January when he found out they were pregnant, he said, I really need to make more money, you know. And I said, Corey, set your intention of what it is you want to do and make, and just let go. I said, you will be divinely guided. There's a reason. I know it's going to work out. So he called me a couple weeks ago and said, Mom, and so meanwhile, he's always stayed friends with his boss and his ex-boss and the attorney that he worked for. And she had called him and told him that the business was even shrinking more, and she couldn't see how they could sustain her income, so she was looking for another job. So when he was wherever he always looks for jobs, he saw a job and he called and said, Dale, this is the perfect job for you. You should apply. Well, she did, and she got it. And she got the job. And in the meantime, a headhunter had called my son for that job and said, I'd like for you to apply for this job. And he said, no. He said, my ex-boss is applying for it, and she's so much more qualified. She has so much more experience. She would be a better fit than me. Well, she went to her boss, told him she was leaving, and as she was leaving, he said, do you think Corey could do this job? She said, absolutely. So they called him in, and one of his big concerns when he had been interviewing other places is because he has clients, was he didn't want to give up his clients. He only had a few, but he had a wonderful relationship with them. And he got the job, and he gets to keep his clients. He's 15 minutes from home. And he told me, and I didn't know he had written it out. He said, Mom, I want to tell you that when you told me to do that, I wrote that by June 15th, I would be making X amount of money. I would be making that. And he said, and I'm making it plus. And he said, what's funny, Mom, is I had told, when I wrote it, I put May 15th. And I changed to June 15th because I thought, I'll give God another month. So set your intention. Have the courage to set your intention and do the right thing. So I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Are we going to have fears in our life? Absolutely. Absolutely. I want you to think about when you were a child and maybe you were going into a situation that you were uncomfortable, and you were little, and your parents said, okay, Laura, now make sure you say please and thank you, and don't talk unless talked to, and all those things that our parents would tell us. And you're meeting strange people, but I felt safe because I was holding my mom's hand, And have you ever seen children go to a stranger's house and they might hide behind their parents and hold their legs? Well, that's what we do with spirit. We have been taught from an early age, some of us, that God is out there judging us. But that divine parent is there with us, protecting us, guiding us through everything. So we don't have, yes, we're going to have fear. Fear is a good thing. Fear warns you, don't touch that fire or whatever. But we don't want it to overtake us. And so we have to have the courage to move forward and do what the right thing is. And each one of us in here has our own truth, as do other faiths. The Lutherans up there have their faith and their truth. We have our truth. And the beauty is for us to each honor each other's truths without trying to change anybody. And I want to go back to being heard again. That being heard, sometimes people just want to be seen and heard. And if you can just do that with them, it's healing. It's so healing. We are here to heal the world. You are not here by accident. You are here to take your light into the world and to be that compassion. So we're not going through, like I said, a revolution. We are going through an evolution. And people are now demanding transparency, integrity. And that, because we have this instant notification and email and so forth, you can't get away with anything, right? So that is a call for all of us, whether we're, yes, to be accountable, to, regardless if anybody's looking or not looking, we need to be in integrity. We have to have the courage to do the right thing all the time. And we have to hold each other accountable, but in a loving way, not in a demeaning or angry way. So there is a oneness or a collective consciousness, a form of energy, of life force that contains all beings and matter. We are individuations of the one. So each one of you is this unique expression of God. And we are all part of this globe. We don't see us individually, but we make up this earth. We are all part of this. And so as you leave today, I have half the world is gone now, but because the first service, but this is a puzzle of the earth. And each one of you, I want you to each take a piece of the puzzle. Annie gave me this idea. She said Dr. Tom did it years ago. And you know, each piece in a puzzle is unique. Different colors, they all have different shapes, but they are intricate to make the picture whole. And I had done the talk at the first service, and Carol Davis texted me. She said, "Oh, it was a great talk." And she said, she told me of a story of a father who wanted some peace. His child was just driving him crazy. He just wanted some quiet time. So he took a picture of the earth and he ripped it up. And he said, "Do you like puzzles?" And the son said, "Yes." And he ripped a picture of the earth and he gave it to him. He said, "Okay, well, put this together. Put this picture of the earth together." And the dad figured, "Oh, I'll have all kinds of time." And the son came back right away, and the father was, "How did you do that?" He said, "Oh, it was easy. The other side was a picture of a man." But do you see the symbology of that? We are the earth. We are the earth. And so I want you to leave here today taking this piece as a touchstone to remind you. And we all have to have the courage to do what's right. And so that's what I want you to leave here with, is to know how integral you are and how everybody is important. I remember Neil Donald Walsh at a seminar I went to when people were talking about violence and stuff. He said, "All right, let me ask you a question. Would you rather have been the victim or the one who perpetrated it?" And if you think of it that way, neither one of those was a good place to be. And so here's the thing. Here's the thing, that what if all of this is happening to make us take that stand for who we are as human beings? It's to awaken us. It's to bring us together with other like-minded people that know the truth of who we are and of who each person is. Because I know I'm running over, but I have to share this with you. So I went to see Anita Morjani, who talked about her near-death experience. So I've been kind of fascinated with what happens after life. And this book that I'm reading, I can't even tell you the name of it, but it was a nun is channeling another nun. And what she said is, when we make our transition, and who knows, I mean, I'm just sharing this with you. Okay, she said that when we go over there, let's say the perpetrator, the terrorist, when he gets to the other side, he is greeted with compassion, and he has to go through like a healing to make him see, to help him heal why he was so angry and why he did what he did. And what she says is, we're all going to play all the parts. In one life, we might have been a man. This life, we might be a woman. You know, we might have been gay, straight, black, yellow, blue, who knows? But we play all the parts. So in that, knowing that we play all the parts, let us have compassion. Let us have love. Let us live our life in integrity. That's what we came here for. Let us have the courage to always do the right thing, knowing that Spirit guides us. So let us say together, my affairs are divinely guided and guarded in right action into correct results. So that's the beginning. So as I carry the world outside, I want you all, when you leave, to make sure you get your piece and know how important you are to that puzzle, to the whole. Thank you. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Oh, we're so blessed. Am I on? I'm not. Oh, whoa, there she is. Okay. We're so blessed. Dr. Joe is fantastic, but it's nice to know that when he's gone, Reverend Laura delivers such an awesome talk, right? Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Well, this is our offertory time of our service, so I'd like to ask the ushers to come forward. And I must say, we are so grateful for all you give to our center because we do rely on you to make this center run. And summertime is a little leaner for obvious reasons, so we appreciate any other giving you're compelled to do because it helps us remain active in your lives and to be able to provide to you the spiritual enlightenment and inspiration that I know we all love. And for those of you that are live streaming, there is a place on your screen where you can give a love offering, and we appreciate your assistance as well. Okay, and you can tithe. You saw the tithe thing. Okay, we're past that now. Okay, so please hold your love offering on your heart and say with me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. I know my offering and my commitment to the center allow us to do great work in the world, and so it is. There he is. We're from the same tribe. I didn't even know that. Imagine how my parents felt when I said, hey, I'm going to go to a center and do spiritual healing for people.
Yeah.
That went over big.
Yeah. It's not great for the inheritance.
No.
Hello again. Actually, that segues beautifully into the song I wasn't planning on singing for you today. I moved to LA to make a living making music almost exactly 20 years ago now, 1998, and it didn't take long before I discovered that there were communities where I could sing songs for humanity and where those communities would appreciate them and enjoy them and feel them. And it was all the world's religions that I'm aware of: Christian, Catholic, Jewish, Buddhist, Muslim, Mormon, Baha'i, all kinds of Hindu. But there was always an internal conflict for me. Was I taking a stand for humanity, or was I taking a stand against my own family and ancestry, in a way? Because my family barely survived the Holocaust, and it was that my family was steeped in that grief always. So it took me a long time singing this song in particular. For me, literally like a decade of singing this song, which is a very true and kind of a special song for me. But it took a long time for me to come around to realize, and it's not an interesting story about how I realized it, but sometimes these moments arrive where you suddenly realize something, and it could be watching a Kellogg's commercial or whatever it is. In my case, it was watching a movie. And I suddenly realized that by singing this song for all the world's faiths and taking that stand, not that it's so ultra courageous, I just stand here with a guitar or whatever, but by taking the stand that I take with this song, rather than betray or abandon the story of my family, that I'm actually not only paying tribute to it, but also doing what little I can to lessen the chance of another family going through the same thing, even if just a tiny bit. Sometimes what I like to say is, I cannot make the world a peaceful place. If Imagine doesn't do it, no song is going to do it. but I can make the walls invisible for a few minutes at a time. So I unfortunately read the news this morning, and it's loosely called the news, of course, because it happened thousands of miles away, and we can take on as much of the energy of it as we want, and as much of the fear of it as we want, or even as much of the love or compassion as we want, as Laura talked about all morning. But for me, I continue to hope that maybe even in my little lifetime, this song is so obvious, so passé a concept, that I don't have to sing it anymore. In the meantime, I offer you this song for you all and in honor of my bubby. There's one power, invisible, and just see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and just speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings or heaven's door, but whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, yeah. One power. One power. We speak so many languages of different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. We'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus or Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or heaven's door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, yeah. One power. One power's what we are. One power. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace, It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. What we are is one. It's the power of the love that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Oh, don't go. We have 5 more minutes to wrap up. Steve is coming forward for us to bless the collection today, and what we've collected goes out into the community, into our center, and it comes back to you, pressed down and overflowing. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Let's extend our hands to put that mojo on there. And please join me as we say, we bless this gift. We send it forth to heal and prosper. We know our offering and our commitment to the center allow us to do great work in the world, and so it is. Thank you. Okay, now I'd like to invite anybody that is here for the first time to rise up, because we have a gift we would love to give to you. Don't be bashful. Yay. There they are. I love it. Love it. We got some here. We've given you a CD case with some information about our center, and if you go to the desk in the foyer area, we have a CD of one of our services for you to listen to, and we'd love to sign you up to get emails. And we invite you to be a part of this spiritual family, because this is a place of love, of support, and enlightenment, and we just love to grow our family big and strong. Following services, if you are in need of prayer, if you're going through something that you need a little support on, whether you have a challenge or you just have some good that you are bringing into your life and you want some affirmation around it, please go to our own room. It's to the right of the sanctuary. And our beloved William, who gave the amazing prayer today, will be there if you want him to pray for you, or any of the other practitioners that will be there. We would love to assist you. And the calendar for next week is not coming up because we're not doing anything. I already told you that. But we do have meditation on Saturday, and Kathy Duguid has her class on Friday night, and I think there's a couple of other support groups you can go to. On behalf of our center, I want to thank all of you for being here today, for joining us in consciousness, and for elevating the awareness of love and God in the world, because you're doing that, and we're all doing it together and changing things. And what Reverend Laura said, we are healing the world. Even though you may not see it, it's happening. I want to thank everybody else who's behind the scenes. Jerry Lynn and the band, thank you guys for being so amazing. We love you. Elizabeth and the office staff for keeping this place humming. And the guys in the back that do all the audio visual and the lights and the mics and all that good stuff, thank you. And Dr. Joe, of course, our beloved spiritual leader, who is amazing, and thank God for him, because he is just the fire behind everything here. Without further ado, I'm going to channel the fire of God right now for you as we come together in prayer, so please close your eyes and join me in consciousness. As we just relax into what we've just experienced, knowing that God was fully and completely expressing through each and every one of us, through Reverend Laura, through Daniel, through the band, through William, through all of us today, God is fully present. And so we take that energy of spirit, knowing that within each and every one of us is that rightness of God. And that is where we draw our energy from. That is where we think from. That is where we feel from, is God. And so we allow every action that we do in this world to be based on spirit, knowing that we are always divinely guided. We're always placed where we need to be of greatest service, to experience the greatest love and the presence and peace of God. And so I am knowing for each and every person today that we experience a week that is profound, that is meaningful, where we can stand in our truth without holding back a second longer and say what is on our heart, knowing that it is God just expressing. So we experience that freedom of the soul that is our natural essence of being, and we allow ourselves to remain in that place because that place is our place, that place is God's place, and that is the place that we live life from this point forevermore forward. Thank you, God. And so knowing that this week just unfolds through grace, as we see the appearance of God, as we see the handiwork of God in our world, knowing that we are ready to rise up above the shadows of darkness. They hold no truth for us, God does, and God is bigger than any appearance that we are seeing. We know that the light of Spirit is coming forward through all of us, through our hearts, and we are seeing a great transformation of humanity that we are grateful to be a part of because our consciousness is supporting and sustaining it. And so knowing that all is unfolding through divine right order and action, as we see the handiwork of God in our world, all good knowing that we are ready to rise up I let go, I let it be, as we say together, above the shadows of darkness. They hold no truth for us, God does. And God is bigger than any appearance that we are seeing. We know that the light of Spirit is coming forward through all of us, through our hearts, and we are seeing a great transformation of humanity that we are grateful to be a part of because our consciousness is supporting and sustaining. And so knowing that all is unfolding through divine right order and actions, we see the handiwork of God in our world, knowing that we are ready to rise up above the shadows, above the shadows of darkness. They hold no truth for us, God does. God is bigger than any appearance that we are seeing. We know that the light of Spirit is coming forward through all of us, through our hearts, and we are seeing